Hello everyone and welcome to the 188th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me as always is my friend, co-host, and summering buddy. I feel like we could throw a bit of a generic one in there occasionally. We're summer.
A fair one to say. I am shirtless. I'm feeling good. It's a good summer's day.
Enjoying the Danish...
Can I just say, I'm very impressed with the range of motion your arms have when you're standing.
Thank you.
There's a lot of throwing them back and forth.
I do love a good standing pod. That's what we're doing today. When I'm in America, the desks here aren't really that great for podcasting. There's a lot of creaky chairs and whatnot. I'm getting my steps in. I'm hitting a little standing pod. Honestly, I love the energy I can get from this. This is fantastic. This is way better.
He's constantly sparring with himself. Yeah. He's shadowboxing, guys.
I feel like either the really hungover, like dead in a chair pods, or the standing high energy pods, those are the best. I feel like the in between, which is 90% of them, just dead. Just
garbage.
Yeah, trash. Also, I would like to say, if you can hear a drill in the background, it's because they're destroying some mall or something, so there's some annoying noise in the background. Can't help it. I apologize, but we move, as they say.
We do move, as they say.
I also, by the way, there are time codes down below. Today I'm thinking there's minimal news, so I say we just get it out of the way. There's mainly one piece of news.
Okay.
Then I say we do 2 or 3 small mini reviews each.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Okay.
Just a couple, because I've watched a lot, but we just sprinkle.
It sounds great.
Give them a tease of the mini reviews. With the already mini review named segment. And then we are going to be talking The Flash. And by we, I mean mostly I, because Frederick has not seen it. But again...
I've not. I tried, but you know what? It's the poorly planned, baby. I'll react to what I hear.
I'll throw visuals at you. You will have awe-inspired reactions.
Ezra Miller naked. Applaud.
That is literally part of the movie. He is naked for a bit of it, and you are expected to applaud. Yeah, I guess we'll get into the whole Ezra Miller stuff as well. We have not touched on the Miller in a while, so that'll be an interesting return to that topic. But before we get into it, there are time codes down below. Just want to start off real quick, very very briefly. It's been too long with the BHL rant. Just a quick.
Oh,
again, just a little tease.
God. Have I missed them?
I think I've been too happy for too long. It's time to bring back the angry old
Life's
man
been
energy.
too good lately. It's been treating you too right.
Yeah. Now I'm standing up. I'm fired up, and I want to say, and I realize this A is like a huge first world problem type moment, and B kind of sounds like a Seinfeld bit that I'm about to do, but I promise this is genuine. What is the deal with leaf blowers? Can I just put this out there? I don't understand the concept, the function, the use. They are loud, terrible, annoying, and
don't really do that much.
All you do is move leaves from one place to the other, which you could do very easily with a rake, perhaps, or just not at all. Who cares? They're leaves.
You know what I say? Fuck the leaf blower.
Right.
Give me a leaf sucker. Am I right?
That's what I've been thinking the whole time. You nailed it.
That would make everything so much easier. Like, you get a big old bag, Santa Claus style, attached to it.
Right.
You just suck them boys in.
Yeah, no, I agree. Like a leaf vacuum, perhaps, perchance.
I like sucker more, but we'll go with...
No, that's I understand.
But I agree, the leaf blower just, as you say, it's loud, and then what does it really do? One gust of wind, boom, all your work's undone.
You're trash, and you suck.
Exactly.
Anyway, I say we jump into some mini reviews. I've watched,
but a very warranted rant.
Of course, I've been dealing with this. The drill I can put up with, I guess. But a leaf blower, these motherfuckers are leaf blowing like every other day. It's like, how many fucking leaves do you... God. It's not even fall. Anyway, sorry. It's been on my mind.
Had to get it out there for an audience.
First things first, mini review number 1 for me. I'm going to start with the film I watched last night, which I don't know if you've heard of, actually, because it's one of those kind of film student-y, like, ooh, you haven't even seen this film, but it's a little bit more on the mainstream, where kind of like the mainstream audiences have also seen it. So I feel like you fall in that
Grown-ups too.
Yeah. Yes, of course. All that film student friends. You haven't seen Grown Ups 2? It's the best thing since
It's a classic.
Zaddy's Home or whatever he's... What's that one called?
Called Zaddy's Home.
The one where he has a mustache and stuff. Zohan, the rise of the
don't
Zohan.
mess with the Sohan.
Right, yeah. Sorry, I don't know.
So can we just say, don't mess with the Sohan, turn into Zaddy's Home?
Doesn't he? It's done a movie called like Daddy's Home or something, isn't he? Anyway, I watched Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. I don't know if you're familiar.
Is that a cheeky? Is that a Carrie?
It is a Carrie in I want to say rare dramatic role, but he does the drama occasionally.
He's done some drama.
He was
in
Dr.
Sonic.
Robotnik. Yeah.
1 and 2. God damn it!
Why? But yes, he has.
Yeah, I have not. I don't think I've seen it, but I hear great things.
Yeah, I'd heard it's written by Charlie Kaufman, who I haven't seen any of his films, but he's sort of a big name in the pretentious film person space. So I was like, I should probably get on that train, and it was very, very, very good. Very interesting, I would say, more than I did enjoy it, but I think I gave it 4.5 on Letterboxd, and it was more for how interesting and unique it was than like it was actually incredibly moving, or I loved it a lot. Like, I did like it, but I think because it was completely different from anything I've ever seen, I don't know, I just love those kind of movies where it's like, because especially being podcasters, we've seen all kinds of movies, we've seen every kind of movie,
We've seen it all.
So to come across a film that's nothing like anything I've ever seen was pretty cool. Just a brief...
Was that in the plot or more the cinematography of it? Why was it so different?
More the style, because the basically the plot is Jim Carrey, he's having trouble getting over his ex, or he's having some ex-girlfriend problems, and there's it's like a totally realistic movie with one like fantasy element where there's some company that offers a service where they erase one person from your memory. And so he goes to do that to get the ex-girlfriend erased. And basically the movie takes place like switching between the real world where he's like asleep having this process done to him and in his mind. And when it's in his mind, it's very surreal. It's him like jumping between memories and, suddenly like things are collapsing and then people have no faces and suddenly he sees himself and all this, crazy weird shit. But it's not like just random for the sake of it. It's all very, I don't know, very clever, very interesting. And that leads to really interesting themes about, love and experiences and the hardships of relationships and whatnot. And I'm not gonna say Jim Carrey is literally me, but I will say I think it's a good. There's some stuff in there that I think is relatable to a lot of people who've been in relationships and have breakups, and there's some very interesting kind of more universal themes about the hardships of relationships and stuff, and moving on, and what if you still want the memories of the good and the bad, whatever. But yeah. Jim Carrey is him, as they say. But
I was gonna say, Jim Carrey, literally me.
That's my review. But I will also say there's an extremely nutty Ruffalo performance in there as well, which I think you'd enjoy.
Ooh.
There's a very comedic the not inside Jim Carrey's mind stuff is quite comedic. It's the people who like are doing the operation on him, and one of them is Ruffalo. The other one's Elijah Wood, who's also extremely I don't know if nutty's the right word.
What a twist. It's Ruffalo and there's another guy, but the other guy is Elijah Wood.
Are you not sold? But it also has a really...
God, I need to watch this.
He's a bit of a creep, but it has a really...
in real life.
In the movie. A really poignant ending as well. So I would say Eternal Sunshine, definitely worth a little watcheroo.
I've heard many things about it, now even more, and I really want to watch it, especially because I do like a Carrey in a more dramatic role.
He's a good actor.
He is a good actor, despite all the Dumb and Dumber-ness he's been doing.
Hey, Dumb and Dumber is a banger.
Dumb and Dumber, great. Dumb and Dumber 2.
Okay, I'll give you that.
Not so much. I've been getting them weirdly recommended a lot to me on my For You page on TikTok for some reason. Nice. Dumb and Dumber 2 clips, which is just not good at all.
That is a massive insult to your intelligence. A computer looked at what you like and decided, you know what, we should serve him up.
The algorithm determined me to be the kind of guy who wanted to watch Dumb and Dumber 2 clips.
Which, can you really argue with them?
Well, not really, but there's the scene with Rob Riggle when they're in the car, it's like, do you guys want to play Smelt It, Dealt It or some shit? I was like, shut up, guys.
Yeah.
It's so bad.
Anyways. It's a classic.
You know it well. You get the algorithm as well.
Yeah, that's my whole feed, is that scene.
It's that scene about various cool edits. Smelt It, Dealt It. Jim Carrey literally him.
God, anyway.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, we'll move on. Okay. Well, sir, for once, I would like you to cue that intro.
Interesting. Fat fucking
Will I?
chance.
Anyways, I finished Vinland Saga, the new season of Vinland Saga, and goddamn, was it beautiful? Such a good time. So I don't know how much I've talked about Vinland Saga so far on the pod. First season, it's about Vikings, right? First season is basically the plot is main character, his dad, when he's when the son main character is very young, his dad's killed in front of him, and then the son is basically taken hostage / just kind of like taken onto the crew of the kidnapper / killers, right? And then his whole life is about revenge and everything like that, and he ends up murdering a bunch of people to try and get it. And anyways, then stuff happens, and then this next season is like you jump to a few years later. I hear the popo are on your ass.
They heard my leaf blower rant?
They know you're about to make the leaf sucker. An Area 51 equipment.
I must be stopped.
You're literally him. Sorry. This new season is basically him a few years later trying to get away from all the violence, and it's a completely different shift in tone of the show, but in a way that weirdly works. Like, I saw a lot of comments when I saw like a few like reviews of it and stuff like that, and they're like, oh, this is so boring, this is so slow. And like in the beginning I was kind of like, it was a drastic shift, but the more I watched it, and I kind of binged a few of the episodes, which I think helps in so that you don't have too many like slow episodes 1 week at a time. But binging it, it was a beautiful kind of transformation of him being this violent killer to him being, trying to create a better world without using violence. And it was a beautiful contrast, and there's some new exciting characters. Animation is beautiful. And the ending, I won't lie, kind of got me choked up a little bit. It was beautiful.
Drew a tear.
Drew a little tear, which is a theme in these mini reviews today, as you'll come to see. But yeah, Vinland Saga actually very, very nice, and I think it's one you would appreciate, because the first one is, I think, more the kind of typical anime, or just a lot of violence, very cool main character, whereas this one delves into a lot of like deeper issues of guilt and how to properly deal with issues, and it's beautiful. It's great.
I was gonna ask if it was more kind of comedic in the first season and less so in the second.
I wouldn't even say it's very comedic. It's more just kind of like action drama. There's a very little bit of comedy, but that's mainly from like more funny characters, less so than like intended comedy. Whereas this one is quite bleak. And like no one's really safe in the show. That anyone can freaking die at any point, which is cool, but also a bit heart-wrenching, I say.
Damn, I love my heart being wrenched.
It's a hobby of mine. So yeah, Vinland Saga season 2, muy bien. I like.
All right, we have an anime recommendation of the week, and a Scandinavian related one. I can allow this. I might even put the intro in for that.
Ooh, it's about time.
I mean, let's not get our hopes up too high.
Yeah, the moment I ask for the intro, you go,
Well, speaking of wrenched hearts, kind of, or perhaps a film that was meant to wrench my heart, but maybe didn't so much.
Ooh, okay.
I might be about to go in here. Not really, I kind of liked it. But The Pursuit of Happyness, starring one William Smith.
One Slapathan Smith.
Slapathan Smith. This is another one that I've heard, a lot of good things, and it's kind of one that's mentioned a lot when, I don't know, people are just sort of... I'll be honest, I've made a little list of kind of movies that are mentioned a lot that I've not seen, so I can kind of get more educated on these kind of things.
Of course.
I did like it quite a bit. I liked it quite a bit, but I was a bit disappointed. I was expecting I've heard it be called like the most inspirational movie ever made, the most motivational movie, and I kind of get it, But it's about Will Smith, and he's broke, and he's sad, and he's trying to make money for him and his kid and whatnot. Okay. And it's like, I get the inspiration part because, spoiler alert, it does end with success. It'd be funny.
I think I've seen it where it's like, where he's like, yes, sir.
Yeah, that's the famous clip at the end, you know? And so it ends with success, and I get it, it's inspirational, he goes through all these hardships. However, I'll say this. I think there's such a thing as... this is not... Because I realize this is a real guy who went through real stuff. So I'm not saying this about, like, life. I'm saying this in terms of...
this is based on a real story.
It is. There is only so much suffering and sadness that can be watched in a movie. Because I thought there's... Like, in an inspirational story, I feel like there's, like... valleys and hills or whatever the fuck, you know, troughs and highs and lows. And this movie is just all lows. It's just stressful as fuck. It's just him running around, having no money, being kicked out of places, having his shit stolen, never being, you know, his wife hates him, all this shit. And I was like, okay, like about halfway through, I was like, okay, maybe there's gonna be like a little victory here and there. And there's like kind of is, but not really. And then like at the very end, you get maybe 90 seconds of like, he succeeds.
Happiness.
Like that scene where he's like, yes, sir, you know, I did it or whatever. That lasts about like a minute, and then that's it, and then it's like the end, and then he sold his company in 2006.
The Pursuit of Happiness is a minute long.
Basically, the happiness part of it. It's all the pursuit, and I didn't want the pursuit. I wanted the happiness.
Like, it's all the pursuit. What a review. Pursuit too long. End goal not long.
Too much pursuit, no happiness. Like, I get it, and it's some of it's kind of interesting and fun, but it gets just from like a storytelling perspective, it gets so repetitive, and it's such a downer that it's like that.
So you're basically telling. Can I just get this straight? You're telling this real guy to get his shit in order and stop being such a whiny bitch.
Yeah, no, that is not what I'm saying. But I don't know, man. It's just like I don't know. Okay, here's how I would describe it. At the end of every month, I go through my finances. I go through my bank. I see what I spent that month. I see what I made. I, you know, see how much money I have, whatever. And, you know, of course, I'm extremely grateful and fortunate to not be in the situation that Will Smith is in this movie. However, it's still a stressful experience. That's not a fun thing to do every month. I don't look forward to that. I feel stressed and not happy as I am doing that thing. This movie is basically just that feeling for 2 hours and then, like, 90 seconds of, like, you're not broke. The end. Like, I don't know. I know I'm missing the point of the filmmaking and the beautiful story and all that and whatever, but I found it to be, again, too much pursuit, not enough happiness.
Yeah, basically, so your review is Will Smith should just be better, is what you're saying.
Yes, yeah. I think the movie should just have been a constant stream of success.
And then at the very end, a minute of despair.
It's just him kicking all the ass, and then at the end he loses all his money. That's the pursuit. The pursuit of anxiety?
The pursuit of unhappiness? The pursuit of literally not being him?
A journey I'm constantly
Imagine that. He's just like living his best life. Not in like a douchey way, but just having like, you know, loving family, great, like a good financial situation. At the end, it all comes tumbling down.
In 90 seconds. They just rip it away from him.
It's been this like brilliant, just grown-ups 2-esque experience out of nowhere. Sir, your entire family is dead and all your money's been stolen and
you are criminally in debt. Yeah, that'd be wonderful. Anyway,
it's so funny. And then it does the like scene actually doesn't change. He just goes, "Yes, sir."
Yeah. Cut to credits. It's completely silent. And then the Men in Black rap starts.
Will Smith will return.
God. Anyway, so yeah, Pursuit of Happyness, A-okay. Not also as a movie, it was fine. There were a couple of kind of like goofy, cheesy moments, but it was fine.
Okay. Cool. Ooh. I will move on from that to another heart wrencher.
Ooh.
I finished the last season and final season, I hear, of Ted Lasso. Season 3, pretty great all around. Honestly, such a great TV show all around. It's so good. I think you would really enjoy it. Inspirational, funny. You do not have to be a football fan whatsoever to enjoy it. Just great. Anyways, watch the final episode and goddamn, was it just tied everything together. So emotional. I did shed more than one tear in this one, and there's been like, there's been some beef between characters where one, like, it's been like, well, obviously someone was definitely in the wrong. You can definitely, like, you see it from their side and like how much it's actually hurt them that they did something, and then it kind of gets resolved in the end, and it's just it's beautiful. And
did the Sudeikis do a little dance? I saw
the Sudeikis did do a dance.
No, it's
and there's like it's a beautiful like tying back to like earlier parts, like even in season 1 there's like the main player, like best player in the team, Jason is doing his usual Sudeiking in that he's like, oh, you should be a bit of a clown on the field, be like, give me the ball, draw attention to yourself and away from other players. And in the final match he does that, and it's just like, oh, what a throwback, a beautiful like kind of culmination of tactics and heart, and just so good.
And Sudeiking.
And Sudeiking. Ooh, new machine idea. The Leaf Sudeiker.
I don't want to know what that machine would do to you. It's not for leaves. It's for balls.
It's for Will Smith when he's unhappy.
It will increase the unhappiness by 100%.
But yeah, Ted Lasso, definitely recommend it. So good.
I did hear the third season got some mixed reviews. I heard there was a lot of people saying it
really
fell off, so to speak.
Ooh, well, to those people I say, fuck you. No, I say it was I don't know. I think I really liked it. Maybe not as much as season 2. Season 2 might have been the best, but at the same time, it just got a bit of a more cozy feeling, this one. Like, first one was good, but there's some constant stress there that you'll see when you inevitably watch it. Season 2 was great, and then this one, everyone is just kind of coming together a little bit, and it was, I really liked it. I would not say it fell off whatsoever.
Okay, no, fair enough. I'm just the messenger. But good to hear. And that is on that previously mentioned list of pop culture kind of things to get through. No, great to hear. Should we possibly save the rest of the mini reviews for another time? Hit a little news.
I think we should.
Hit a flash. All right, let's do it.
I like it.
News, we only have trailers, which I know is not your specialty in terms of watching them.
It's not my strongest of suits.
But there's only really one that we have to talk about. We don't have to, but one that
there's only one where I have a gun to my head that we have to talk about, and I think I don't want to be that guy, but I think I've watched it.
You might have seen the trailer for Expendables.
Fuck. Of course I've watched the trailer for Expendables.
No, I mean, to be fair, I did just want to mention that because I love that title, because as we established, we love movies with the number in the, it's great. So Expendables, I feel like they don't do it as much anymore. So that was a good throwback. But no, the one we are talking about, it's a little lemon and or tangerine. Never remember.
You never get this right.
No, it's not. Wait, it's mango. No, is it not? No, it is lemon and tangerine.
Yeah, but who?
It's lemon.
Wait, no, it's mango.
Anyway, it's Aaron Taylor Johnson as Kraven the Hunter.
I have seen it.
Oh my god, unbelievable! This is a big win for the book. And for me personally. Well, what are we thinking about the latest Venomverse, Morbiusverse addition to this truly god-awful universe? Can you think of a universe you'd rather not live in than the Morbius Venomverse?
Maybe the Pursuit of Happyness universe.
That's true. My review was on Letterboxd, stressful ass movie. That's all there is to it. It's just not fun. But anyway, what did you think of Kraven the Hunter?
Just not a good time. I won't lie. I got very excited for it.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm a big fan of the tangerine.
Right.
Is it? Yeah. Yeah, it is tangerine. You don't know either.
Get out of here. No
it's
one
just
knows.
You got me questioning it so much now. It's tangerine, definitely. And I'm a big fan, and Looks like there'll be some decent action, actually. Bit of violence. Love it. And yeah, I will say I was a bit thrown off by him not having his Tangerine voice. It's a bit more high-pitched and less manly, I dare say, the voice in this one.
I don't know if I clocked that specifically. What accent is he rocking? He's doing American, isn't he? No,
I think he's doing American, and I prefer him with a Tangerine accent.
Oh, fair. I think he is British in real life, maybe. Who's to say? I mean, his name's Aaron Taylor Johnson. That's pretty UK.
That's pretty Nigerian of him.
Yeah, a classic Mandarin name. Mandarin. Tangerine.
Nice.
Thank you.
Mandarin? He's Tangerine?
He's a lemon.
The Mandarin? He's a lemon?
Complete schizophrenic breakdown from the Kingsley.
Imagine that. The Mandarin? He's a strawberry. Sorry.
Sorry. Your thing did freeze, and then you just came back.
I see.
Your thing just came back doing like a Five Nights at Freddy's jump scare, and I just hear the man is a strawberry. That was very disturbing. That was one of the scariest things I've ever seen.
Because I said it, because we were laughing, right? And then I said the man is a strawberry, and you fell completely silent. I'm like, damn.
Real stinker? That one did not land. You went too far.
Clearly, tough crowd.
God, anyway, Kraven the Hunter. I mean, I agree. I like the Taylor Johnson. I also thought it was a very amusing Crow appearance, who clearly, I don't know, needs like a new pool or something because the mummy money wore off. Like, why would Russell Crowe be in? I feel like he's a respected man.
I feel like he's an Oscar winner, sure.
Yeah. Why is he taking like small dad parts in like The Mummy and Kraven the Hunter?
What a brilliant way to describe it.
To be clear, the part is small. Russell Crowe is enormous. He's a huge man.
I don't know how he fits his pants in that gut.
No,
anyways.
He's not fat, but I mean, like, he's a big guy, you know? He's not the anything wrong with him being fat.
You just said, sorry, not little dad. He is enormous.
I keep digging. Anyway.
No, sorry, not fat, just obese, okay?
No, he's great. I don't know, he's in great shape. He's really sexy.
The best save? No, I don't know. He's in great save.
You're not fat. You're really, really hot. Tries to kiss him.
God, imagine that. He's like, you just call me fat? No, sorry. Let me suck your dick.
Crow smiles. It's how he does it every time. Crow's reverse psychology.
Appear fat and then just get your dick sucked. literal him move. Oh my god. It's so funny seeing you just disappear.
Oh my god. Sorry, I was imagining Russell Crowe with a book that says literal him moves, and it's just one page that says appear fat, get your dick sucked. Jesus. Anyway, apologies for all of that. Russell Crowe is not fat.
He's sexy.
Yeah, let's not get into the fucking cycle of this again. Kraven the Hunter. Look, I agree.
Jesus.
I like to see R-rated superhero stuff. I feel like that's for this kind of character especially. He bites a dude's nose off and spits it out. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, very cool.
I think it just looks bad. Like, I don't know. It's to be fair, I did say this about The Flash, and as we'll get to, I liked it a lot. But the trailer just has all the hallmarks of a bad superhero movie, and because it's from Sony, like, it's just like something about like the way it's shot, and it just looks it looks like Morbius, and it doesn't look as bad as Morbius, but it looks sort of similar style to Venom Morbius, where like it's very kind of generically shot. There's nothing that interesting about it. It's kind of goofy. Some of the effects are okay. Some of them are kind of weird. Some action looks kind of fun. I'll give you that.
That's my main kind of.
I guess that's the main reason you go to it, but I just think it's going to be I think it'll be better than Morbius for sure, but I think it'll probably be on par with Venom 1, which I know you liked a lot. I did not like very much. Which I think
well, you say that, but you secretly do like it a lot.
It was a bit of a banger. Okay, it's my favorite movie. I don't know. I think it has like mid-tier Sony Marvel movie written, actually below mid-tier Sony Marvel movie written all over it. To me personally, I hate to be the bringer of bad news.
I won't lie. I was not super focused on what was actually going on in the trailer, and I wasn't analyzing it very well. I was more like, oh my god, Aaron Taylor, weird voice,
biting noses. I will also say I think the thing in the trailer where, I don't know, not this should be really a discredit to the movie, but I don't know, maybe because I'm less into the superhero stuff now, and I'm more, I don't want to say I hang out with, like, non-nerds. I definitely hang out with mostly nerds, but, like, I can just imagine that moment in the trailer where, like, he's like, the animal blood falls in his blood, and then it's like, and then I became in tune with all the animals or whatever. I can just imagine, like, people who I see a movie with, like, laughing in the cinema when that trailer comes up, you know what I mean? Because it's like Spider-Man, but that was 2002, you know what I mean? Like, it's just, I feel like we kind of moved past this sort of thing, but I don't know. Anyway, looks mid, in my opinion.
I'm excited, but I do see some of your points. I'll give you that.
That's all we can really hope for. But anyway, that's the newsum for the week. Whew, I need to recover myself here a little. that crow bit took me out.
It was so funny. You'd be like running across the screen, and then out of nowhere, you just like you'd like drop, like as if you just got shot or something, or like a trap door opened beneath you. Just.
This is the problem with me having all this mobility. You know, I can do like a whole Benny Hill skit running back and forth. God. So, should we talk about the film that has lit up the internet?
Yes.
Kind of. I don't really know. I don't know if people... It's kind of bombing a little bit at the box office. But there seems to be a lot of debate online. A lot of differing opinions. And I'd like to present my case and see...
And I'd like to listen to your case.
As someone who hasn't seen the film, what you think of my case.
Okay.
The Flash. We both thought looked pretty good. And then as it approached closer, we were thinking, looks a little stinky, can't lie.
Yeah. But it's turned it around. Is that what you're saying?
I do believe, personally, this was a very enjoyable film. I had a very good time with it.
Ooh,
and
nice.
There are definitely elements that I can agree are big stinker. I will say right off the bat, it might be the ugliest superhero movie I've ever seen in my life. It's fucking hideous to look at for a lot of it. But
very nice.
Ironically, I feel like a lot of superhero movies have completely whatever stories and, you know, no thought really put into the script, and then it's like, oh, but look, cool effects, whatever. Weirdly, I feel like this is kind of the opposite, where I really enjoyed the comedy, the dialogue, the dynamics of the characters, and I thought the effects looked like absolute dog shit. So,
okay. Was the movie going for that, do you think? Like, do you think it purposely didn't focus as much on the effects, or were the effects still focused on heavily?
Especially towards the end, there's a big focus on the effects. There's the big kind of third act thing. And there are a couple times where you can argue it's intentional. There is a part... Are we doing spoilers here? What are we doing? Should I keep this light? What are we thinking?
Man, hit me with all the spoilers.
Alright, spoilers galore. You've been warned. So basically, the plot of the film is the Flash, he figures out he can go through time, slash to other dimensions or whatever when you go to a new timeline, whatever. They do the whole scene where they explain how time travel works and whatever. But basically, when he's in that Speed Force bubble that sends him through time, the way they present it visually is he sees, like... It's hard to describe. It's basically like he's in the center of an arena that's like dark red, which is not a very pretty color to have like most of the screen filled with. And then it's like he sees like hundreds of copies of the same scenarios, like layers and layers and layers, and he can kind of like choose which one to go towards. And they look fucking horrendous, like CGI wise. It's like people's like CGI faces, and that's the only one where I think you can kind of excuse it, because it's like, because it's in the Speed Force and he's seeing a million scenarios, maybe it's supposed to look really fake and rubbery and weird. But the problem is, other effects in the film that are not in that scenario also look that bad. So it's kind of hard to believe that they... Because I think the director even said, like, well, it's in the Speed Force. It's supposed to look weird or whatever.
Yeah, it's fine. It's kind of like a get-out-of-jail-free card.
Yeah, but then it's like...
It's moving super fast.
Other shit looks kind of bad as well. But I would like to focus primarily on what I really enjoyed. And I got some major heat on my Letterboxd for this take. I got a lot of BHL comments.
Ooh, okay. Love those.
Which, to be fair, I know some people just didn't like it. I do also think I maybe phrased my review a little strangely, because I said something like, unlike a lot of superhero movies lately, this feels like an actual movie. And I think what I meant by that was superhero movies in the past, 4 to 5 years. Because, lately, like, the past few months, we've had Spider-Verse, we've had Guardians 3, we've had some real bangers,
Certified bangers, yeah.
But I meant more kind of MCU post-Endgame, like Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't know, whatever the fuck. And what I mean by it feels like a real movie is that most of the movie is centered on Barry traveling to, another timeline, whatever, and meeting other Barry, meeting himself. And
is there a lot of banter back and forth between the two Barrys?
There's a lot of banter. There's so much banter. You can't even handle how much banter there is. And normally that's a recipe for a movie being really annoying and self-indulgent and stupid. But it was really funny.
Especially if it's Ezra Miller.
Well, yeah, we'll get to Ezra Miller. Ezra Miller kind of... It's a shame, because I walked out and was like, I really enjoyed that. And then kind of like all the Ezra Miller stuff, it's like, Because I want to say... this is the...
He's forgiven.
No, definitely not. This is the Kevin Spacey and Baby Driver and other things thing, where, he's good. He's a good actor, but you don't want to... It feels weird to say it because, But, I'll say, in terms of a performance, Ezra Miller is very fun in this movie. And it's a shame because I didn't really like him... Sorry, actually, by the way, I did not know Ezra Miller identifies as they, them, which I realize we've said... He and him for a long time. My bad. I just did not know that. I didn't really like them as the Flash in the previous movies. I thought...
Yeah.
It's kind of annoying.
It's weird.
And it's a shame because finally I'm like, I can get on board with this. This is a fun character. I'd like to see this character again in more things. This is a fun performance. And oh wait, Ezra Miller, bare minimum dealing with a ton of issues, maximum terrible person. You can decide where you want to put your opinion on that spectrum.
Are more movies going to have Miller?
Apparently, they said they're not going to recast him, but I don't know. I think they also thought this would be a huge hit, and they're like, well, we can't get rid of Ezra Miller then if it's a huge hit, and it's not looking like it's going to be, so they might be like, well, fuck it, he's more trouble than he's worth. Sorry.
Yeah. Oh, you idiot!
Sorry.
You idiot. I won't lie. I'm just going to say it right now. I will also forget this.
It's just in the heat of the conversation. I'm sorry. We are trying. And the thing is, how they made him, actually a good character, an actually fun character, is...
Yeah.
They put him next to this alternate Barry Allen, who's, a bit younger, and he's a complete fucking idiot. And our Barry Allen, the one we've seen before, has to take on a bit more of, a straight man role, a bit more of a responsibility role. And it actually makes him really likable and fun, and it provides a really fun dynamic. And I was like, holy shit, they actually did it. They actually made him likable and, interesting. That's what I mean when I say it felt like a real movie, is a lot of these superhero movies feel like, okay, now we need to do the next Ant-Man thing. Where's Ant-Man gonna go? He's gonna go in the quantum realm, and then we throw a bunch of shit in it and whatever. It starts with, it's like a bullshit superhero thing. Where this one, it feels a little bit like it was character A travels to another timeline and meets themselves, and themselves is kind of annoying, and they have a fun back and forth. It could be like a Back to the Future thing. Character A travels back in time and has to get his parents together, whatever, And so it felt like an actual story first.
It felt a bit, not maybe the actual... plot isn't the most original, but it did feel like an original kind of movie idea, the way it was carried out or what.
That's what I mean, a real movie. And this is, again, I've mentioned this a lot in this pod, because I feel like this is a great, measuring stick barometer for this sort of stuff, because we talk to a lot of nerds. We are nerds. I saw this movie with my mom, who, again, a lot of these things, especially lately, she's not really on board with. She's like, what's Loki doing? Why is there 50 million Kangs? I don't really give a shit, whatever. And this one, she loved this movie. She had a really fun time. She was like, that was a great movie. That was really funny. And I was like, yeah, it was just a movie that I feel like you can enjoy not being a superhero fan. You know what I mean? Which is why I found it so weird. I found Mr. Sunday, who I'm not trying to start any beef with, big fan. And I haven't listened to his full review, but I saw a YouTube short where though, one thing I thought, he was like, what a soulless corporate piece of garbage or something. And I was really surprised by that. Because also, again, not starting any beef. I love his channel and podcast. It's all great. I believe he said Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania was okay. You know, it was just fine. And I was like,
okay,
the things...
I was
just saying.
Again, you mean him no harm.
No beef.
First of all.
No beef. Big fan. Huge
no
fan.
harm, no beef. But it does sound like, you know what? I'll take this one for you.
Oh!
It does sound like he's kind of off his rockers, isn't he? What the hell?
Lost his fucking marbles. I don't know, it surprised me because I was like...
What the hell?
The complete, like, mid/corporate bullshit, whatever, that you've said is like, yeah, it's pretty good. Which, again, everyone's entitled to their opinion. No beef. I'm a big fan. But I was just surprised that I was like, this is the one that you call, like...
Sounds like you're starting beef.
I don't want to start a beef. This is the one that you think is, like, corporate garbage, soulless, hollow product. I was like, this has more... Not even hard. It's just funny. It's like a comedy. I don't know. I thought the comedy was
It's just
good.
better than most superhero movies these days.
Like, the best scene in the movie is... There's a scene where Barry and like a couple of their friends are sitting in an apartment, and it's just like, it's basically like a scene from New Girl. Like, it's just like a comedy scene, but it's not super cringy like a lot of superhero maybe other people thought it was. I don't know, because other people really did not like it, but I was like, this is really funny.
Did it have the kind of New Girl vibe, or?
Yeah, well, it was just like, you know, kind of quick back and forth, like someone says something stupid and someone kind of acknowledges it in a funny way, and it was just like, it felt kind of like a Lord and Miller, because I know they were on board with this like a long time ago. I don't know if that was any leftover influence, but a bit of that like 21 Jump Street, New Girl type of comedy sometimes. So anyway, I was just saying, overall, and that's throughout the movie, that stuff is why I really enjoyed it, basically, because the Barry dynamic is fun, and by the way, just real quick, the other thing that I liked is that it's a bit of a return, not a return, but it embraces being like a goofy superhero movie. The opening scene is the Flash saving 8 babies falling out of a hospital building, and again, it looks horrible.
That's so out of character for Ezra.
There's a great clip of the Flash putting a baby in a microwave to save it, and I mean, just given the context of Ezra Miller, just like kind of seems like his latest crime.
Turning it on.
He's not in super speed mode. It's a deleted scene. He's making lunch.
Ezra making a nice lasagna, but instead of lasagna, it's a baby?
Yeah, I'd like to be clear, Ezra, not a baby eater. As far as we know, you know. Could be the next headline.
As far as we know, you know.
There were a lot of headlines back in the day. They might pick up again, but...
Ezra Miller walks in on people in the hotel room, throws chair at woman, and ate a newborn.
And microwaved a toddler. Yeah, I mean, stuff like that where it doesn't take itself too seriously. And the opening, like, there's the Justice League kind of shows up in the opening, Batman helps him out, and then Wonder Woman's there and whatever. And it's... Again, I get it. It's sort of, that part feels kind of like cheap, and they kind of look weird in their costumes and stuff. But it's, again, it's just like, it doesn't feel too serious. And maybe that's what people didn't like, because, you know, this Snyder fan base, maybe they didn't like that. I don't know.
Okay.
We can talk about some bad stuff, if that will appease people.
Before, I mean, I guess, just overarching question here. Would you say this is one of the best movies in the DCEU so far?
I'd say it's probably my favorite.
Even the best?
I'd say of the Man of Steel DC movie, I'm trying to think. I like Birds of Prey as well, which I know other people also hate, so they'll probably be like, this motherfucker's favorite movies were The Flash and Birds of Prey. What other movies? I guess Aquaman was fun in how fucking stupid it was, but like... I don't know, I think... It might be. Like, it's not as good of a... It has a lot of more problems than, you know, something like The Batman or something like that, but... I mean, just tonally, I thought it was great.
Did you like this more than the Batman?
No.
Okay, I was gonna say.
No. Like, again, problems. Again, it looks fucking terrible. That being said, though, the action scenes are kind of fun. If you get past that it looks, you know, the effects are really bad, there's fun stuff going on in the action scenes. They're going through time, they're doing quips and stuff.
Fucking.
I don't know, maybe, because a lot of the times with the latest superhero movies, like, or latest Marvel movies, when I see people going like, this movie was hilarious, like, those jokes were kind of a little bit cringe or whatever. So maybe I'm on the other side of that now, where everyone's like, because it's very silly. I mean, like, it's very goofy. There are jokes about, like, you know, his tooth falls out, and then he puts the tooth back in and falls out again, whatever. But like, it was just done in like a funny way. I thought they also make fun of how annoying he is as a character, and also his stupid fucking run, which I loved, because there's a part where Barry gets like depowered, and he doesn't realize yet, so he tries to do his flash run, and they show him running in like real time with his giant looping arms, and it was really funny, and I was like, Thank you. Someone acknowledged that run is fucking stupid. Like, I don't know. We should also talk Michael Keaton's Batman, who...
yes, The Return.
I believe right before the movie came out, I said, in everything I've seen in from this movie, he looks like he wants to put a shotgun in his mouth. And
Did that stay true?
I stand by that. Like, maybe I wouldn't go that far, but a lot of this feels...
Maybe just a pistol.
Yeah, it feels pretty phoned in from Michael Keaton. Like, it's fun to see the character again in the bat suit and hear the music. And there are a couple of fun moments where he does, his opening, like when he shows up, he has like a big beard and he's like a crazy homeless man who does karate on them. And that was kind of enjoyable, I guess.
Okay, nice.
But whenever he's doing Batman stuff, it's really bad. There's a part where he just does a bunch of one-liners and they feel like, again, someone has a gun to his head. Like he says, there's one point where he...
Does he hit you with the classic, want to get nuts?
He does.
Let's get nuts.
And it's terrible. No, that was cringe. I'll give you that. People say this movie's cringe. That was cringe. That was pretty cringe.
That was
There's a part where he's about to beat up a bunch of goons, and it like zooms in on his face to do a one-liner, and he says something in this, phoned in way where he's like, "This is gonna hurt." And I was genuinely confused if he was talking about the goons or him. Like, if it's gonna be painful for him because he's so old, or if it's gonna hurt the goons he's about to beat up.
Never good when you don't know if Batman's talking about the goons or himself.
Also, like, it's a stupid superhero movie, whatever, but it is a little funny because it's like, 80-year-old Michael Keaton, and then clearly just his stuntman.
80 years old?
I think so. He's probably 70. Yeah, 80 might be. It's no offense.
Watch it be like 42.
But like, it'll be, old man Keaton, and then it'll cut to him doing like crazy kung fu shit, and I'm like, couldn't you have Keaton maybe, being a little more believably older, like maybe doing something else? He breaks his leg.
No, trying to kick the goon and then just concaving his knee.
Just instant concussion. He didn't even move. We can talk cameos as well. So there's Ben Affleck's Batman, who looks like he's ready to be done with these, but it is what it is. Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, who I stand by. Hate to say it. Actually, I don't hate to say it. I don't care. Not a very good actress.
She isn't.
She's in it for like 2
really
seconds, I know, but like everything I've seen her in, she's not good at acting, in my opinion. Sorry, no offense.
I thought you were going to say she's not good at anything, really. No, Wonder Woman, more like I wonder how this woman got this role.
Because I remember when the movie came out, people were like, she's so powerful and she stands there and she's an inspiration. And I guess she's good. It's like she has like a presence, I guess.
Yeah, she's got a good presence, but like in terms of actual acting.
But does she have charisma? I don't think she's that charismatic. I don't think she's interesting at all.
I don't think she's. I don't know why. I think she's just got this kind of like. She's got this kind of like presence. I think. Oh, yep. She's got this presence, but I don't think she's God damn it! Let me quickly put my phone on.
And then there's a. What's the cameo? Oh yeah, Christopher Reeve's Superman shows up as CGI. They also have fucking Nicolas Cage as Superman, which I don't know
why.
Because he was gonna be in a Superman movie, and so I don't know. That one was a bit. I mean, it's all goofy, it's all stupid, but in the big finale, it's supposed to be a little bit, kind of serious-ish, and then it's like, and there's Nicolas Cage as Superman.
He's the least Superman person in the world.
No, it's a confusing casting choice. I see why they didn't make the movie, but it was kind of funny, I guess, but it sort of took away a little bit. They had some. I think they had the Superman actor from like the 50s, the like, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's Superman type guy, who apparently allegedly killed himself because of, or maybe not allegedly, I don't know, I didn't look into this too much, but people were mad because he apparently killed himself because of the slump that being Superman put his career in, and so people were like, that's extremely disrespectful to bring him back, which maybe it is. I have not looked into it too much. I do think, because I saw a lot of that where people were like, oh my god, people actually like The Flash, they brought back the Superman, and like, if that's all true, yeah, that's super shitty and they shouldn't have done that. I don't think that's a good reason to be like, The Flash fucking sucks, because they, did this. I mean, you can say that thing sucks, but I don't know. And then at the end, this is kind of funny as well. At the end, he goes back to his universe. He's like, oh, everything's normal again. And then he's like, hey, it's Bruce Wayne over there. And Bruce Wayne is, in fact, no longer Ben Affleck, no longer Michael Keaton. It's George Clooney. I thought you would enjoy, especially. It's kind of amusing.
What a nutty-ass ending. Is that
Which is also just, like, I don't know, it had all these fucking references that usually would be kind of annoying or kind of dumb, and like you're like rolling your eyes like, oh, they got fucking Patrick Stewart out again, great, whatever. But like there was something about the way they did this one where it wasn't annoying, it was just kind of fun. Like it was It didn't feel so serious. And also, I love that it didn't give a shit about, like, I don't know, everyone takes this shit so seriously, maybe us included, but, like, you know, like, what's going to happen with the DCU next? And technically this ends with him being in a world where George Clooney is Batman, you know what I mean? Like, nothing matters because they're rebooting it all. It's like, who gives a shit, you know what I mean? I don't know. Mm-hmm. It was fun. Emotionally, like, it was fine. There's kind of a generic story about, like, oh, my mom, I love you, whatever, and it was okay. The big finale is fine. The villain turns out it was him the whole time, which I feel like they've done that 20 times in the Flash TV show, but...
The villain was Other Barry?
Yeah, and because he tried to stop his mom from being murdered, and then he became this monster, and then it's like, the monster you saw at the start of the movie was actually Barry from another future, and it's like, yeah, they've done this fucking trillion times. Like, I get it. Towards the end, it starts to feel more, like, about the last third, it feels more like, as Mr. Sunday would say, a corporate soulless product, whatever. But I think the first two-thirds, genuinely one of the funniest superhero movies in years. Really, really enjoyable.
Very good. I cannot wait to watch it.
Weirdly genuine. Weirdly, like actual work was put into it, or like actual thought was put into it. Like it was made by someone funny, which I did not expect from this film. Should we talk real quick before we wrap it up about Ezra Miller?
Let's talk.
I don't know, at the premiere he said something like, I thank you to everyone who's been, you know, going through all this with the, like, quote, context of my life, which I feel like that's a way of putting all of the crimes that either you did or were alleged that you did.
I mean, I think it's good that he acknowledges it, but the context, Ezra, who are we kidding?
I get it. People deserve a second chance, and you can't.
You said that like you do not believe it whatsoever.
No, it's because, like, depending on what he did, because some of the stuff, look, he choked a person and threw a chair at someone. Obviously very bad. Obviously should be punished. Should be, you know, I don't think did he ever go to jail or something? But, like, he should be punished, whatever the punishment is for that crime.
But it's not a career-ruining thing.
No, some of the stuff, which I'm not, like, an expert on, so I don't want to talk about it like I know everything, but I think there was something about grooming, and there was something about, like, hiding out a mom and her kid or something. Baby
in a microwave.
That was in the movie, to be clear. But, like, I think that stuff, like, if that's true and all that, like, if there's more serious shit, then then you do need to either... Well, yeah, you need to, like, face the punishment, and you shouldn't be able to just be, like, a celebrity. You shouldn't just get out of shit because you're famous. So it's kind of, I don't know really what to say, because I feel like people watch this movie, and they're like, oh, he was really likable in that. Like, let's just, you know, it can't be that bad. And it's like, that's his job. His job is to be likable and fun and, like, an actor. They're actors' whole jobs. That's why it's so hard to believe them when they say shit, because literally their profession. It's like if a plumber is good at fucking fixing your toilet, you know what I mean? They're supposed to make you like them. So... he could still be really shitty. He could be someone who has a lot of issues and hopefully is working through them. Probably somewhere in the middle. Should that person be a celebrity and be able to make all this money and be on these movies and go to the red carpet? Probably not. I don't think so. Again, it depends on what is true and what's not.
Depends on what's fact or what's fiction, but...
from everything we've heard, he seems like a shitty person, I'd say. And it doesn't matter what I think, but the law should, you know, apply.
Yeah, all I'm saying is that many other people have lost a lot more for a lot less that they've done, you know? Like, many people have lost other roles and, careers almost for, like, things that maybe on par and stuff like that. Obviously, that's not an excuse to them, but I'm just saying, if a lot of what other people have done is not okay, then there shouldn't be an exception.
I can't remember where I heard this. I can't remember who it was about, but it was someone famous who'd done something bad, and someone was saying... like, if you want to fix who you are and, like, work on yourself as a person, like, that's great, that's really good, but you've lost the privilege of being famous and having all the money and having everyone tell you how great you are and walking the red carpet. Like, you shouldn't, you can't be put on a pedestal. It's great if you want to work on yourself. Of course, everyone should try to become better, and I hope he's being honest about that. But yeah, I also I think, depending on what is real and whatever, you should not be walking the red carpet and all this kind of shit and get to be in all these movies.
Yeah.
This one I get because they had already filmed it, I guess, but whatever. Anyway.
Mm-hmm. Big kind of deep rant here.
Yeah, sorry about that. Or not sorry.
No, we enjoy. Get political here.
But yeah, as a movie, The Flash, weirdly, I really enjoyed a lot of it. I thought it was fun, not without its flaws, but surprisingly, very enjoyable. So I'm curious to hear because I haven't really... I've seen people didn't really like it. I haven't really heard the reasons exactly besides Mr. Sunday's YouTube short. Yeah. So I'm curious to see in the comments why people thought I took a BHL on this one. We welcome the combo.
I'm very excited to see this because again, we did say like the beginning of it looked very fun, but then it did start to get a little bit, go a little bit down in quality with the trailers. But I'm still somewhat excited to see this, and with everything you said just now, I'm even more so. I'll report back to you, maybe even on the pod here, and let you know. But I'm hoping it's going to be a dub.
Could be a bit of a dub. We shall see. With all that said, it's now time for
the dumb news.
So we have a little bit of a cheeky article here from etonline.com, which says, as an exclusive, Haley Atwell recalls how Tom Cruise took her grandmother on a helicopter tour of London.
Oh, okay. Hey. I see.
The hostage situation is still active.
And well done pause there.
Thank you. So...
I didn't actually listen to what the second part of it was. I just started imagining all sorts of things.
Took her grandmother on a helicopter tour of London.
Okay.
So he's not holding her hostage, just to be clear. But yeah, apparently Haley Atwell's mom hates helicopters, but then Tom Cruise showed up and was like, get in.
Forced her into one.
Threw her in? No, apparently he was like, he was so, suave and charming, and she was like, oh, I'll go on a helicopter ride around London. I'll be honest, and nothing against Tom Cruise personally, I don't think I would trust... Okay, this is going to sound really bad, but do you not understand me? I don't think I would trust him with my grandmother. I'm not like implying anything specific or anything. I just think like
what a wild sentence.
It's like Tom Cruise,
full of implications. I wouldn't trust him with my grandmother. He'd either get too handsy, he'd start saying a bunch of weird stuff.
I'm not saying he would do anything bad. Just generally, if Tom Cruise, cause I don't know, I haven't read this. I don't think she was in the helicopter with them, and I'm not saying he did anything bad. I'm just saying, just as a general presence, if you're having, a brunch with your grandmother, and then Tom Cruise pulls up in a helicopter and says, oh, get in, I'll take you around London, and leaves with your grandma, would you not be like a little bit worried? Just from a general point of view.
Okay. I will say, it does sound like that's not what happened. Sitting at a garden party, Tom Cruise lands on your front lawn. Get in, we go gym.
Get in, we going Ibiza. Grandma flies. Just unrelated.
Grandma just hovers.
Cruise ties her to the helicopter, swings her around on the way. Anyway, fine, I'll fucking read it. Whatever, now I'm curious. Haley Atwell, blah, blah, blah. The first thing that comes to mind for me is that he took my grandmother on a helicopter ride on Christmas Eve.
What? This is so random.
I took her to a helicopter base in central London that had a cafe attached to it, and we're having a cup of tea, and I said, oh, some helicopters out there. And she went, oh, you wouldn't get me in one of those. Blah, blah, blah. We surprised her, and Tom came...
And then Tom did.
Tom came walking around the car. It was so sweet because my grandmother was like, hiya, Tom. How are you, darling? Blah, blah, blah. She was so relaxed with him, and then he said, I would love to take you on the helicopter on a ride of London. And she was like, oh, fantastic. Yes, I'll just put my walking stick down. Am I also just weirded out by this because allegedly Haley Atwell and him dated, and this sounds like a weird meet-cute between Tom Cruise and the grandma? Like, does this not sound like the start of a rom-com?
Is this after they dated?
You know what? I think this probably was when they were dating. If it was at Christmas. Weren't they dating around then? Who cares? Whatever. Fuck it. So look, realistically...
Doesn't make it any better, Tom.
Realistically, a nice thing of Tom to do, I suppose. But also comedically, kind of funny, I guess. Tom Cruise stealing your grandmother. And you'll never see her again, he cackles.
She becomes the stunt woman for the guy who was thrown out the helicopter in Mission Impossible.
Anyway, good for you, Tom, I guess. That was nice, I suppose. Anyway.
Good move, Tom. Very smooth, you sly fox.
Alright, we're now going to do some comments. Let's fucking do this. Movie Boy says, I was talking when Tyrese Gibson drives by nuns and says, this ain't none your business. Oh, yeah, I think he left a comment before and we were like, I don't know what this means. He was doing a Tyrese reference. Does that make it better?
Oh, I see. No, it makes it much worse.
Yeah.
The fact he's also owning up to making a Tyrese reference.
That's hard to do, actually. Yeah, that's a confession many wouldn't make under torture. NMS says, my brain is melting each time I get a notification for this poorly planned event, and it is on a day other than Friday. It only took 6 years, but this pod lives up to its legendary name and status. Thank you. We try our best.
Let's go. Let's go. Bit of a backhanded one, but we'll take it.
Alfeld says, so let me get this straight. You were willing to bring back the Dwoos, but still haven't brought back Cnews? Also, what were your thoughts on Kaluuya as Hobie Brown / Spider-Punk? And Josie says, News, Don Cheadle is in Secret Invasion. Alfeld says, no, it has to be Cheats only news, no one else. And Josie says, true. So, first of all, I thought Kaluuya was very good as Spider-Punk. And Cheats News, I'm not even kidding. I have looked up Don Cheadle news before to bring back the Cheats News. There's nothing about him. He doesn't do anything. Like, there's no news to have. Tom Cruise has a new thing every week. There's not much going on. That being said, he is in Secret Invasion. I watched the first 20 minutes of it, and I'll be honest, I thought it was really boring, and I stopped watching. Sorry.
Okay. Hot take.
Cal W says, my favorite Vin Diesel quote is when he said that he wouldn't return for Too Fast, Too Furious because the studio wouldn't take a Francis Ford Coppola approach. Who I believe is the director of the Godfather films. I also genuinely, I'm not even kidding, I think that's true. I don't think he's joking. I think I read that somewhere. So yeah, that's a bit of a rough one.
What is it with him and Tyrese thinking these are like cinematic masterpieces or wanting them to be?
Yeah, no, he's a troubled man, but also a very happy man who's, maybe he's just living his best life in his own reality where his movies are good. Josie says, Across the Spider-Verse is easily one of my favorite superhero movies ever. Sony has not missed with Spider-Man so far in this decade. To be fair, there's only 2 that came out in the 2020s so far, but man, did I love it. Also, Vin Diesel annoys the hell out of me. His ego is so big that it makes George look like a small person. And I think he used a word there, but I don't think you're supposed to say that word anymore. But what do I know?
Ooh.
Hashtag Thunderwear, hashtag Hobie Maguire, hashtag Harry Potter in the Chamber of Bussies, hashtag Bird. ZJ says, another great unexpected pod, a great way to get ready for bed, also increasingly rare FDKW on Across the Spider-Verse review. Hashtag Spider-Man Across the Bussiverse, hashtag Dwayne Beef, hashtag Cruise Bomb. I don't know, what did we talk about with Cruise? Did we talk about a cruise bomb? That sounds...
A bomb?
Sounds kind of terrifying. Also,
we talk so much fucking shit that we just
probably
erase it with the next thing.
I mean, hashtag cruise bomb could tie into the grandma article. Tom Cruise took my grandma, hashtag cruise bomb. Lucas says, Benedict at the beginning, let's get right into the news. So I believe that's a Keemstar reference from Lucas. I think we're just going to move on from that one. Anurag says, very happy to let you guys know that Dwayne's performance in Southland Tales rivals the insanity of his Pain and Gain performance. He has some of the craziest line readings I've ever heard. Again, we're going to have to do this. I've never heard of this, but it might have to happen. We might be getting pranked here, but who knows? We shall see.
I think it's worth it.
It might be. Super Mason says, I've been thoroughly looking forward to this pod, and I'm glad y'all both like Spider-Verse. Also, I've started watching New Girl because I want to see what all of this hype is about, and it has lived up to it. Excellent. I'm always happy when we can get someone on the New Girl train. Jaden says, Jaden has listed poorly planned podcast canon events. So this should be interesting in relation to Spider-Verse.
Can I just say I love the whole canon thing and also the way it's being used in memes now.
Yeah,
it is. Like, bro, you shitting your pants in front of the teacher was a canon event.
So poorly planned podcast canon events: the destruction of the Brett Dalton cardboard cutout. That was that was true. The end of the poorly planned podcast. That was a canon event. That was a big one. Morbius, Dune, Hand. What a joke. BHL's big nose, Freddy's love of the Pirates franchise, and lastly, the shared collectiveness of nobody finding Tyrese funny. I'm sorry, I feel bad. The Tyrese comments are just, because everything else is layered in irony and haha, and all the Tyrese ones just he's so fucking unfunny. I feel bad almost. Hashtag old men in hearses, hashtag Sigma Chad 2099. I don't know what I'm supposed to make of that. Hashtag Banksy face reveal. Hashtag Tate versus Dwayne. And Movie Guys added more canon events here. The Tom Cnews. Yassine always being the more favorite friend. That is a canon event in your life, I believe.
Very canon, yeah.
The Big George middle finger. Michael Nathanson loving the pod. Deep cut there. Classic
Very
moment.
deep cut. That was a canon event.
Freddie always sweating. Cumbledore. I forgot about Cumbledore. Again, I don't know the context that was brought up in, and I apologize for whatever that was. And Brendan and his ankle obsession, which I believe is a reference to Brenton Thwaites. I saw her ankles.
It's true. I was happy that I got away with you having the big nose and me not sweating in that comment, and then all of a sudden he had to bring it
all
back.
Came crashing down. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's funny because I think, like on a general basis, I probably sweat more than you. I'm a sweaty boy myself, but because you wore that light colored shirt in that one video,
listen, it was a poor shirt choice. Okay, that's all it is.
It is what it is. Shelf Enthusiast says, another great episode, and I totally agree with you about Across the Spider-Verse. Amazing movie. Gwen Stacy's world in particular was jaw-droppingly gorgeous with every frame. Hashtag my father was Spider-Man. Hashtag peak Nick Miller. I agree, it was a very pretty world. NMS says, Tyrese Gibson, what a joke. Very poignant.
Very astute.
Anson says, so yeah, Across the Spider-Verse was incredible. The animation was so good that it's genuinely beyond words. I cannot believe this movie is real. All of the comedy was funny, and the drama was incredibly well handled. The new characters were all excellent, especially the Spot. I love how he went from incompetent goofball to eldritch horror in a way that actually felt believable. Gwen's arc was amazing, and her dimension basically being one big mood ring was absolutely inspired. The music was excellent, especially Daniel Pemberton's score. So many brilliant leitmotifs. I believe that's how you pronounce that. I'm a film student, I should know. There's just so much to love here. Can't say it's better than the original quite yet, though. It really does feel like the first half of a 4+ hour epic, and thus kind of hard to judge on its own. I would agree with that. But the combined experience of Across and Beyond absolutely has the potential to exceed the original. 9 out of 10 overall, with the definite potential to be an 11 out of 10, depending on how the third movie turns out next year. I would agree with most of that. That was very well put.
I'm very happy that we're getting the next movie so soon as well.
Yeah, 10 months away. And the mood ring comment is a astute observation. I have 2 more announcements real quick. One, you can apparently leave comments on individual Spotify episodes I just found out recently. So if you're listening on Spotify and you want to leave a comment, I should put this in earlier. I'll do it next time. But you can do that. And I can publish it or something, and then it shows up. So that's cool. Also, by the way, and
very
I'll
nice.
Say this again earlier in the pod next time, I deleted my Twitter and my TikTok account permanently forever. So you can no longer find me on TikTok or Twitter at BHL Hudson or BHL_Hudson. We can discuss it some other time.
When you say deleted, deleted, is that you just deleting the account or deleting the app?
Deleting the account. The account is gone.
Damn.
Fully,
well, I guess I'll be the only Twitter boy here.
So we can discuss that a little more next time up top so people are aware of that. But anyway, thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment down below what you thought of The Flash, what you thought of everything we talked about, what you thought of this pod. You can also find us on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, The Poorly Planned Podcast, and if you're listening there, we're on YouTube, The Poorly Planned Podcast. It's great. Leave a 5-star rating, a nice review, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Tell your friends and family. Who knows? Who will like it? You can find me on YouTube,
Everyone will.
BHL Hudson, Instagram, BHL_Hudson, Letterboxd, Real BHL Hudson, and you can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
God, I feel naked after hearing that. Anyways,
you are naked.
Me on. You can find me on Twitter at FDK_DaltSniper.
Disgusting.
And when I say you can find me, you most certainly cannot. I'm never on it. But anyway, still tweet me. I'll check it every 2 months or something, and maybe something will come up. You can also find me on Instagram at Fidelgard. You can find me on Letterboxd at FDK_Films and on YouTube at FDK Space Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Russell Crowe's little daddy.